We'll continue to monitor that vote, obviously, as they make their way through the alphabet of the senators there in the chamber. Admiral James Stavridis is a former Supreme Allied Commander at NATO who also served as a commander for the U.S. European Command. It's good to have you with us this hour. I do want to talk to you specifically about what we're hearing from Secretary Hegseth in his comments earlier today in Brussels. But just real quickly, as we're watching this vote here, the fact that there was so much controversy, so much concern around the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard, who is now, frankly, moments away from likely being confirmed in this vote as the Director of National Intelligence. What is your take on what she will mean to U.S. security? We heard Senator Schumer say a short time ago that she would be endangering the country's national security as DNI.
Eric, I think there are two big risks. One is her policy positions are largely out of step with the intelligence community. She's demonstrated in the past a certain level of sympathy for Vladimir Putin, an implacable foe of the United States, met with Bashar al-Assad, a brutal dictator who is now seeking refuge, by the way, in Moscow under the protection of Vladimir Putin. So she's got a basket of policy challenges that I think are going to be difficult. And particularly in the intelligence community, many of the people I know and work with are concerned about her support for for Snowden, who is clearly a traitor to the United States. I think the second basket of challenges for her are managerial experience. The U.S. intelligence community is a huge apparatus, well over a dozen separate big agencies. She's going to have to show a lot of managerial skill, and there's nothing in her background that suggests she has the experience to take that on.
How concerned are you about the impact of Tulsi Gabbard as DNI on these very important relationships that the U.S. has with its allies, specifically when it comes to intelligence sharing, and also the message that it sends to adversaries?
Yeah, that's kind of the third thing that is worth mentioning. She has not been assiduous in defending classified material. I think that she is now leading the entire intelligence community. So if you're in Paris or London or Seoul or Tokyo, are you really comfortable sharing the most high-grade intelligence of your nation with the United States? That's a third and an additional open question she'll have to address should she be confirmed.
Admiral, stay with me for just a moment. We're going to listen real quickly as they announce these results.
Schmidt, Scott of South Carolina, Sheehy, Tillis, Tuberville.
Apologies. We thought we were a little bit closer to the tail end of that vote than we were. I'd love to pick up on what we're seeing overseas today, if we could, sir. So the comments that we heard from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth talking about very clearly ruling out NATO membership, saying this cannot be a part of any negotiated settlement when it comes to the war in Ukraine. This is exactly what Vladimir Putin wants. And it stood out to me today that Steve Witkoff, the president's special envoy to the Middle East, was on with my colleague John Berman a short time ago talking about the release of Mark Fogel. And he was asked whether he spoke with Vladimir Putin. He said he didn't want to discuss that, basically wouldn't say either way. The possibility that there is, in fact, a fair amount of conversation happening in this moment with Vladimir Putin. At the same time that we are seeing this push on Ukraine, what does that say to you?
Tactically, it's good news that we're at least at the beginning of some level of conversation. The name you did not mention, Erica, that's worth knowing is retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. He is the point person on this U.S., Russia, Ukraine negotiation. He's doing a bit of shuttle diplomacy. I think the release of the hostage is an indication that Putin wants to talk. That's kind of the good news tactically. What I worry about is what we just heard from the brand new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who effectively staked out Vladimir Putin's negotiating position, which is to say no NATO membership, flat no, and I, Putin, get to hold on to all of the territories that I've conquered. In other words, the pre-war borders are, in Hegseth's words, unrealistic. I think that is an odd place to want to start a negotiation by ascribing to your opponent's position. Better would have been take a harder position. Let's have a negotiation and try and package all this in a way that gets to a better outcome for Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly stands out. We will continue to watch all of it. Admiral, I really appreciate you rolling with the live punches as they were out of D.C. earlier today. Thank you so much.